Hello, people. Well, today I want to make a little comparison between the AI bubble and the AI glaze and other types of bubble that happen in history. Because, we might not know what the future is waiting for us, but what we do know, is the past. How many things in history happen and how they evolve into things that they end to or they didn't end to. There are too many comparisons you can do about the AI bubble. For example, I have seen people comparing to the when the automobile started, and the argument of, hey, adapt or die, that all the other people that are not using AI, quote unquote AI, are are being left behind, like the people that use horses, and even though, I think there can be some parallels, I still think they that's more of a mean spirit comparison, for saying, like, oh, we are the progress, we are the future, whatever. The most close comparison we have to this, like in a one-of-one situation, is the dot-com bubble. And yeah, there are many parallels in the case of how this is growing, the expenses are going, all that stuff. We can also compare to many other stuff. For example, if I don't misremember, there has been bubbles similar. For example, um, for radio, for example, for careers also happen. But really, the comparison I want to make are three things, and honestly, three most recent things: cryptocurrency, the metaverse, and NFTs. Well, let's start with the first one, cryptocurrency. So the idea of cryptocurrency came out like a way to decentralize money from banks. For what I understand, um, let's say you want to share money with someone, so instead of just giving the money directly to the person, you have to send a message to your bank saying, hey, I want you to transfer this amount of money to this person, and the bank will say, yeah, we are going to do that. In some cases, yeah, you are giving up your money to the bank so the bank can hold it, manage it, whatever. The idea of cryptocurrency started is a way to remove the third party, being banks, from this operation. So you can control your own money. For example, you can borrow your own money, and then you can give that money to the other person without the third party. That's how I understand. Like, there is really complex things. The other part, like, also being like the idea of this new digital gold. Um, all that stuff. Now, I was in middle school, high school when all that happened, so I really don't have much of an idea of what was the culture at the time. But I can say for sure, even though I was in that age, I do remember I did saw the guy say name Bank Sam Bankman. Now, Sam Bankman, he was one of the people that made cryptocurrency like this mainstream big stuff. He was glazed everywhere. He was in covers of magazines. He was like a high profile individual. People were saying, oh, he's going to change the future of currency. Because the other part of this is that they were pitching the idea of cryptocurrency as in a step of currency. In the part of in the future, we wouldn't use things like the euro, the peso, the dollars, whatever. We all um, globally will use cryptocurrency. Now, if you think about that just a few seconds, you will think, yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like if we all went to zero, like zero, and everyone share the same coin, the global economy will be in disaster, you know. But it didn't matter. That was the idea. And if you don't remember, there were many people trying to push for this. Many people trying to push for their own meme coins. You had Elon Musk doing all the Dogecoin stuff he tried to make. And he did gain money from that. And then you have, for example, Bitcoin. That Bitcoin became the more legitimate, the more creatable coin out there. You have like a few years ago where crypto became like a recognized coin, and that was the story. And then you have, for example, the archetype of the crypto brother or the crypto person that is putting all his money into crypto with the idea of, oh, this is going to grow, this is going to grow. You have many celebrities and athletes making ads for cryptocurrency. That was the culture. But what happened a few years after that? Well, if you are seeing right now, most of cryptocurrency don't have any worth. Bitcoin right now in this year is in a collapse. Maybe it will go to zero um, dollars of worth, maybe into negative numbers. But and even if you don't believe that, there is an unnegatable fact that cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is not what they sell us to be. And then now we go to Sam Bankman. Wait, here. To Sam Bankman. What happened to him? Well, now he's in prison for fraud and for tricking all these bad people into cryptocurrency. And now I don't know who is writing this. I don't know who is writing this reality, who is the screenwriter, or maybe God is becoming lazy in his script writing. But what do you mean, the guy who wanted to decentralize banks to create a new way of currency is called Bankman, and the guy who wants to remove humanity from everything we enjoy and from the workforce and for creative places is called Altman, like in Alternative Man. I what do you mean? They both are named Sam. So anyway, so that is what happened with cryptocurrency. Now today, there's still cryptocurrency. They are still people trying to push for meme coins and whatever. But let's be real, the illusion, the story, the marketing plan of, well, this is going to be the future, this is going to be the future of currency, really didn't happen, you know? Then we go into the metaverse. I do have memories about the metaverse. I do have experience about the metaverse. So, but first, let me settle the things. Facebook was in a rough spot in the 2018, 2019, something like that. Basically, they were in a hotspot because people started to lose confidence in them. They were just in court because they maybe, you know, um, force people to vote, to manipulate the people so they vote for Donald Trump. That's what happened. They went in court. You have like that iconic part of Mark Zuckerberg being on court, and people simply didn't use Facebook anymore. People didn't believe in Facebook anymore. People didn't were mad at Facebook, so they did a rebrand. They shared this new project, named the Metaverse. The Metaverse, what they were telling us is that it was like the next evolution from the internet, basically the internet 2. And with that pitch, they were, all this concept art, all these ideas of what the metaverse could be. And Facebook was so confident that this is going to be the future of the company, the future of the internet at all, they started to rename themselves from Facebook to Meta. Facebook now will be the name of the social media platform, and the company will be named Meta. Meta from the metaverse. He said that this was like a way you can experience the internet better. You can have concerts on the metaverse. You can have meetings on the metaverse. You can meet people on the metaverse. You can have dates on the metaverse. You can have a house on the metaverse. That was the idea, more time went through, people were confused like, well, what the metaverse actually is. It's like a VR stuff. It's like a video game. Like for in that time, a video game named VR Chat was really popular. So many people were maybe people were like comparing these two, like that this is what it is supposed to be. And of course, where they like, there's a great video from Eddie Borbach if you want to remember yourself or refresh yourself from what happened with the Ultimate Metaverse stuff at the time. You can watch that video of Eddie Borbach. But the point is that was the idea of the metaverse being the future, not only of the internet but also of the company, to try to reframe themselves from what happened with Facebook and the election. Now, what happened with the metaverse? Well, a few months ago, a few weeks ago, I don't remember exactly, the metaverse was officially down. They lost $80 billion in a thing, and but people were agreeing like, yeah, even though it ended this year, 2026, the metaverse was dead, like 2021, 2022, even 2020. Like people simply didn't use it. There was no use for the metaverse. There was nothing to do in the metaverse. But if you remember that time, people were investing, companies, not people, companies were investing in the metaverse. You have these fashion companies making runways inside of the metaverse. You have many companies trying to buy real estate, trying to buy ads, spaces in the metaverse to promote themselves. You have Disney investing a lot of money to create their own metaverse, to create a digital Disneyland. You have many companies trying to incorporate the metaverse and the metaverse idea of what is the future of instead of having an office and physical office, you can have the metaverse office. And there were companies that were introducing that into their workforce. I actually have a personal experience. We have When I started college, I had this professor that told us to submit our homework in the metaverse. And it's funny because like we have this platform for the school, and it's like, well, we have to use the platform of the school. So he basically asked us to submit our homework 2 times, one in the platform school and another was in the metaverse. I think it's like the metaverse, honestly, there is nothing to do. It's just there. And it finally ended. And then we have NFTs. Now it is a funny thing because NFTs are related with the metaverse, and it's also related with um with cryptocurrency because the NFTs only worked with cryptocurrency. Now we had the first wave of the Bored Ape. Bored Ape make a lot of money, and then it was like just because the NFTs were such an absurd um thing, you know, because in essence you are buying the rights of a PNG. Like, yeah, you have the rights of that PNG or that part of a video or whatever, or that tweet sometimes, but uh, in essence you are just, oh, like, the idea of, oh, I can um save your PNG and I have it in my phone on my computer, whatever. It was such an absurd thing, you know, but people were still buying into it because in that at least in the first wave made millions of dollars. Like the girl that made NFTs is now the millionaire, you know. And many people started to create their own NFT projects, and even YouTubers and the same as crypto. Many people started to create their own NFT projects, trying to create NFT games, NFT or NFT everything. You know, there is this famous Spanish YouTuber named Willy Rex. Um, he was mostly known for his Minecraft gameplay, and when the NFT race started, he stopped like posting videos about video games, and he only made videos about NFT games. You know, he made his own NFT stuff, and he said, "Well, I don't buy NFTs for the money. I buy NFTs for the experiences because people were saying like I don't know how true this was. Maybe it was true that some people that own NFTs were invited to private events, to private parties, you know, in LA and wherever. And then you have people that were saying that oh, this is the future of art. This is the future of art. In the part of how we experience art, how we sell art, how we collect art, like a private collection, but in digital form, you know? In the metaverse, I remember there was this commercial about the concert and say, oh, you can buy your NFT merch. It was like in the trailer was like a shirt, whatever, or like a hoodie. But people say like, all right, so I own the item of the hoodie, or it's just like a digital hoodie, or that hoodie is going to arrive in my home sometimes. And then you had people that were saying, "Oh, NFT is going to affect the video game industry because like you can buy items with NFTs and use those items in every single video game. Like let's say you buy a knife in Halo, for example. If it was an NFT item, you can use the same knife in a game like Call of Duty, for example. Of course, like people in the video game industry said, "Hey, this doesn't make sense. Let's say we could do this. What happens if you have an overpowered NFT item and you use it in a, like a Call of Duty multiplayer game and you destroy all the game design, you know, because you have like a cheat code. They basically you bought the cheat code, you know. It really didn't make sense. But do you remember the time? Everyone was in NFTs. You had Google, um, Disney, all these big tech companies pushing for NFTs. You have many people pushing for NFTs. You have millionaires pushing for NFTs. Elon Musk was pushing for NFTs. I remember well that the ex CEO, the former CEO of YouTube, wanted to put NFTs inside of videos so you can buy videos and NFTs in YouTube. My personal experience with NFTs was a teacher that said that his cousin was doing an NFT project, but the point is that it really didn't make sense. It didn't make sense as in the thing because actually it was a really ridiculous thing. But the thing is like it made money. You had, for example, celebrities buying NFTs saying, "Oh, I have personal collection with NFTs." People like Justin Bieber. We have that Jimmy. I don't know if I was Jimmy Kimmel or the other one. No, it was Jimmy Fallon. I don't know that NFT interview he made with that actress, for example. NFTs were everywhere. But what happened? Of course, this was a fucking bubble. What happened after, not long after, is the bubble burst, and now most of these NFTs lose more than 90% of their value. So, like, I remember a short I saw last year, it's like saying, like, well, the $1 million NFT Justin Bieber bought now is worth like $5 $6, and that was what happened. And now, why I bring all this into the AI conversation, into the AI bubble conversation? Because I think there are many parallels into this. Like, for example, how much people are pushing for this. You have, for example, you have Microsoft putting Copilot everywhere in all their products, inside of Windows, inside of Internet Explorer. You have YouTube doing the same thing. Like, actually, yesterday, like, I was working in my computer and I just opened my browser in Google, and the first thing that happened, a pop-up showing all my screen. Please use BO3. You have BO3 free for today until March 14. Please use BO3. Like, they are actively begging you to use their AIs. They are putting AI inside of videos. Like, if I don't know if this you're seeing that in this video, but some videos you can ask Gemini stuff. That's the most useless thing you could use. You have the AI mode inside of Google, the AI overview inside of Google. Facebook is full of AI, for example. Like, personally, I don't use Instagram much. I open a new Instagram account for a little project I am doing, like just posting stuff of my city, and that's it. And what I was posting one photo, like the option of what you want to post, there was like an AI. I pressed it just because I was curious, and the idea was like you can generate your own chatbot inside of Instagram messages, Instagram DMs, and I saw it was this is the most useless stuff in like everywhere, and they put it everywhere. Like, you can have Meta AI inside of WhatsApp, inside of your conversations of WhatsApp. That, of course, I am pleading you don't use them, because the second you put that metaverse inside your conversation, Meta is going to use all your conversation and personal data to train their clunker. And that's something I am seeing many of this stuff. The other part is, I already said the parallel with Sam Bankman and Sam Altman. They are both like people, like there are people that generally think Sam Altman is the next DiCaprio, Leonardo DiCaprio. Leonardo DiCaprio, sorry. Leonardo da Vinci, sorry. And like, he's going to revolutionize the world. He's going to make a big change. He's a genius. He's out there alongside Albert Einstein, wherever. And then you see like people that are working with him and say like, hey, he actually doesn't even know how to code. Like, he actually doesn't. He just a brick billionaire, and that's it. But you see him in last year. He was in the Times Magazine as a person of the year. He is treated like the second coming of Christ. Why? Because he has a product that is making money. But in reality, quote unquote, it's money, quote unquote, because he's actually just bleeding money. Like, the parallel of Sam Altman and Sam Magnan are like one to one, honestly. And first, and before I want to talk about a little bit about Sam Altman. I saw the there were some attempts to his life recently. Like, there's a report that said that three people tried to end his life. Now, I understand the feeling. I truly trust me. I truly understand the feeling of hating this guy. I hate this guy. I'm not going to lie. I don't like Sam Altman. Like, I don't like Elon Musk and all the other people. But the thing is, you can't, like, if you want him to have justice, you will need him alive, because you know what's going to happen when inevitably OpenAI is going to disappear and go for private currency. Do you know what's going to happen? What's going to happen is the same thing than Sam Beckman. He's going to go to court. He's going to make all these millionaires that gave him money mad, and he's going to go to jail. So really, I don't think it's, if you want him to bad stuff happening to him, let him fact let him face the things he has done with the AI bubble. But don't end his life, please. Don't do it. We do not like violence. Anyway, returning to topic. Then we have that parallel of how people were interested in that. Then you have all the parallels of of all the mythos that is happening with AI. The idea of, well, this will be the future, like this will and when, but never is. In the part of how they are saying, oh, NFTs is the future of art, metaverse is the future of the internet, crypto is the future of currency. AI is the future of everything. That's the worst part. Is the future of everything because they are selling, like, they are not selling AI as a just one product thing. They are saying that, oh, we can do everything. It can be your friend, it can be your girlfriend, it can be your psychologist, it can be your doctor, it can be your professor, it can be your artist, it can be your designer, it can be your computer science, your employee, your boss, your CEO, your everything. But the thing is, it can't. It can do. But the point is to feed that narrative. Feed that narrative. Because speculation is how bubbles are born with. Speculation is the only reason why bubbles exist. Why products that, yeah, you're saying that this maybe can be created into something like super intelligence or AGI. Maybe, hopefully, it will. But right now, you are burning money. But with the idea of maybe in the future, this is going to make me billions of dollars, so I have to skip still here to invest more and wherever. It's the same thing, you know. And then you think of all of this, and then you realize, wait a minute, isn't this just gambling? Isn't this just gambling? But this is not gambling. This is fraud. Fraud hidden like gambling. Now, of course, there's many parts of these things that really doesn't fit. For example, people are saying, like when I shared this idea, people were saying, yeah, NFTs, the metaverse and crypto, they didn't have like a functional use. Well, AI does have some, a function. For example, AI has a use, and that's the thing. Like, yeah, AI can be useful in some things. Yeah, I said it. But the thing is, like, they are selling it as an everything solution. It's they are saying that it can do everything and everything and everything. Oh, sorry, that came bad. Sorry, it can do everything. That's what they are saying. That's what they are selling. Why? Because in reality, have to over they have to oversell this. They have to see they say that this can do everything. Because if they say, oh, this is like this can be your assistant, let's say for example, and then you see, oh, actually it doesn't work as an assistant, it's over. No, well, it can be your accountant, but then because it cannot be your accountant because it makes the numbers bad, the illusion is over, you know? So that's why they have to oversell the stuff to say it can do everything. Because if you can say, hey, it cannot do, you cannot be your psychiatrist, they can say, yeah, they cannot be your psychiatrist, but it can do everything else. And it will do everything else. That's it. So that's my parallels. I don't know what you think. I want to hear your opinions in this. And let's see what happens, you know? Bye bye.